My wife handed me a paternity test at our anniversary dinner. Surprise, your son isn't yours. I'm taking half of everything in the divorce. I looked at the paper, then at her and said, open your email. She pulled out her phone. Her face went from smug to terrified in seconds. She slid the envelope across the white tablecloth like it was a business proposal. Our 10th anniversary. Marcello's, the Italian place on 5th that required reservations 8 weeks out, where entrees started at $65 and the sommelier wore a pin with his certification level. Candlelight flickering between us in those overpriced crystal holders. Sarah Jessica Parker was 3 tables over with some producer type. That kind of place. I opened it. DNA Diagnostics Laboratory, paternity test results, probability of paternity 0.00%. My throat closed. The letters swam. I read it again. That's for Jake, Melissa said. She lifted her champagne flute, Dom Perignon, $340 a bottle. I'd seen the wine list, and took a long, slow sip. He's not yours. 7 years. My son. The kid I'd coached in t-ball last summer. The kid who'd called me from school crying last month because Tommy Hernandez said his drawing looked stupid. The kid who still crawled into our bed during thunderstorms. I had an affair with Marcus. She set down her glass, smiled, actually smiled. Your college roommate. Remember him? Marcus Chen. My best man. The guy who'd helped me move into our first apartment. Who'd lent me $2,000 when my car died senior year. I wanted you to know before I file for divorce tomorrow morning. The room tilted. The restaurant sounds, silverware clinking, low conversation. That fucking piano version of Moon River became muffled, distant. I'll be taking half of everything. The house, your business, retirement accounts. She leaned forward, her eyes, the same brown eyes I'd stared into at our wedding, at Jake's birth, at 1,000 dinners, glittered with something I'd never seen before. Malice. Pure, distilled malice. And I'll get full custody since you're not the biological father. Judges love mothers, especially when the father has no legal claim. My hands went numb around the cloth napkin I'd been holding. It fell into my lap. Why tell me now? Because I wanted to see your face. Her smile widened. You've been so smug lately. So successful. Your little tech consulting firm taking off. That profile in Business Weekly last month. She picked up her fork, examined it like she was checking for spots. I wanted to watch you realize you've been raising another man's kid for 7 years. That every baseball game, every school play, every time you said, I love you, buddy, all of it was a lie. The waiter appeared. Young guy, early 20s, slicked back hair and a vest that probably cost more than my first car. Are we ready to order, or would you like a few more? Actually, I said. My voice sounded normal, weirdly normal. Check your email. Melissa's smile flickered. What? Your email, right now. She frowned, set down her fork, pulled out her iPhone 14 Pro, the one I'd bought her for Christmas, and $200 after taxes. Her face changed instantly. The smile died. Color drained from her cheeks like someone had pulled a plug. What is this? Divorce papers, filed this morning at 9:47 a.m. with the County Superior Court. I kept my voice steady, quiet. Grounds, adultery, paternity fraud, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Those last two carry severe penalties in this state. Her hand shook. The phone screen cast a blue glow on her face. You already knew? For 3 months. The words landed like stones. How? Her voice cracked. Jake got sick in April. Remember? That stomach bug that wouldn't quit. Pediatrician ordered full blood work to rule out infections. I took a sip of water. My mouth had gone dry. Dr. Patel, 23 years practicing pediatric medicine, very thorough, noticed something odd. Jake's blood type is AB negative. You're O positive. I'm A positive. Silence. That's genetically impossible. 2 parents with A and O can't produce an AB child. Basic Mendelian genetics. I watched her face. So I ordered my own test. Sent it to the same lab you used, actually. DNA Diagnostics on Culver Boulevard. Got the results on April 19th at 3:22 p.m. Then why didn't you? Because I needed time and evidence and leverage. I showed her my phone. Voice memos app open. Red timer running. 11 minutes, 47 seconds. You just gave me everything I needed. Her champagne glass clinked against the table as she set it down too hard. Bubbles sloshed over the rim. You can't. I can. Audio recordings are admissible in this state. Single-party consent law. That party is me. I paused. You admitting to the affair. Bragging about taking my money. Planning to use paternity fraud to deny me custody. All recorded. All time-stamped. All backed up to 3 separate cloud servers. The couple at the next table, older, maybe 60s, him in a gray suit that screamed corporate law, glanced over. The woman had stopped mid-bite. Fork suspended. Keep reading, I said. Melissa scrolled. Her face went whiter with each line. That's everything I've done in 3 months. The business, Tech Consult Solutions LLC, transferred entirely to my name. Remember that restructuring we did last year? All that paperwork from Davidson and Ross attorneys at law? Her eyes widened. You signed Form 3245B, voluntary removal of co-owner rights. You removed yourself as co-owner. I had 3 lawyers review it before you signed. You just didn't read it. You were too busy texting Marcus. I watched you do it at the kitchen table. That's legal. Entirely legal. Witnessed by 2 notaries, Stephanie Chen and David Okoye. Both licensed, both reputable. I leaned back in my chair. The leather creaked. Retirement accounts? Separate trusts now. Set up in March. The house? Purchased before our marriage with my inheritance from my grandfather's estate. $180,000 down payment. You never had any ownership claim. Your name's on the mortgage as an authorized user, not a co-owner. Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. She looked like a fish drowning in air. Scroll to the attachment. She did, hands trembling so badly she almost dropped the phone. Another PDF, another paternity test. DNA Diagnostics Laboratory date, December 18th, 2019. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. I've known since Jake was 2 years old, I said quietly. The restaurant sounds came rushing back. Piano, conversations, a woman laughing 3 tables away. But our little corner had gone silent. A bubble of stillness. Your sister told me. I watched Melissa's face. Amanda, remember that Christmas party at your parents' house? 2019? She had 4 glasses of wine. 5, actually. I counted. Got sloppy. Started crying in your dad's study. Melissa's lips moved. No sound. She said she felt guilty, that you'd sworn her to secrecy when you told her you were pregnant, that you weren't sure if it was mine or Marcus's, that you'd picked me because I had better career prospects. I folded my napkin, creased it carefully. She begged me not to tell you she'd told me, said you'd never forgive her. You've known for 5 years? 5 years, 10 months, and 12 days. Her phone clattered onto the table, screen face up, the paternity test still glowing. So why did I stay? I asked the question she was thinking. Why keep quiet? She stared at me, mascara starting to run. She hadn't blinked in maybe 30 seconds. Because I love Jake. He's my son. Not biologically, we've established that, but in every way that matters. My voice hardened, turned to steel. I taught him to ride a bike. I stayed up all night when he had croup and couldn't breathe. I read him Where the Wild Things Are 400 times because it's his favorite. I'm his father. I stood, put on my jacket. Tom Ford, navy blue, $2,800. A splurge from last year when the business started taking off. And I wasn't going to let you use him as a weapon. Melissa grabbed my wrist. Her nails dug in. Wait! I pulled away. I'm filing for full custody. Legal father status based on presumed paternity and 5 years of established parental relationship. California Family Code Section 7611. I picked up my phone. Stopped the recording. You plan to tell Jake I'm not his biological father. Tonight, after you destroyed me at dinner, that's documented. Her eyes went wide. How did you? I've been monitoring your calls with Marcus. Pennsylvania versus Muniz precedent. You have no expectation of privacy when discussing plans to harm a child's psychological welfare. You told him last month, July 14th at 10:23 p.m., and I quote, I'm going to tell Jason at dinner, then tell Jake the next day. The look on both their faces will be worth it. The corporate lawyer at the next table wasn't even pretending not to listen anymore. You plan to weaponize paternity, to destroy a 7-year-old's understanding of his family structure to hurt me. That's parental alienation. That's psychological abuse. And that's documented in 47 pages of evidence my attorney has ready to submit. You can't take. I'm not taking him. I'm protecting him from a mother who would use paternity as a game piece, who would tell a 7-year-old his entire life is a lie just to watch me suffer. Her eyes filled with tears, real ones this time. Not the crocodile tears she'd used when her sister got engaged, not the performance tears from our wedding when she'd cried through her vows. Real, terrified, desperate tears. The court will see I've been his father for 7 years, supported him financially. I have every receipt, loved him, attended every parent-teacher conference, every doctor's appointment. I paused. While you planned to destroy him to hurt me, I dropped $300 bills on the table, enough for the champagne, the water, the appetizer she'd ordered but hadn't touched, and a tip. Oh, Marcus got copies too. I almost forgot. Including the part where you told him, and I'm reading from the transcript here. Once I get Jason's money, I'm leaving your ass too. You're just a placeholder until the divorce settles. She started crying, really crying now, shoulders shaking, mascara rivers down her face. How could you do what? Exactly what you tried to do to me? I leaned down, voice low enough only she could hear, low enough that the corporate lawyer had to strain. You wanted to see my face when I realized I'd been tricked. When my world fell apart, people were staring now. The waiter stood frozen by the kitchen doors. Sarah Jessica Parker had turned around. But you're the one who got played. For 3 months, you thought you had this brilliant plan. You were so smug, texting Marcus about how stupid I was, how easy this would be. I straightened, while I planned every detail, every document, every recording, every conversation with attorneys. 3 of them. I walked toward the exit, past the piano player who'd stopped playing, past the sommelier holding a bottle of red he'd been about to open, past the maitre d' who looked like he was calculating how much to comp the surrounding tables. Wait! Her voice cracked, broke. We can work this out. I stopped, turned. She was standing now. The red dress I'd bought her last month, Valentino, $3,200, her birthday present, suddenly looked cheap under the restaurant lights, like a costume, like she was playing dress-up in someone else's life. You handed me a paternity test on our 10th anniversary. I let the words sit. You bragged about destroying me, about taking everything I've built. You gloated about your victory. The entire restaurant had gone quiet. Even the kitchen sounds had stopped. You should have made sure you'd actually won before you started celebrating. I turned and walked out. out. Behind me, I heard her sob. A raw, choking sound that might have broken my heart 6 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months ago when I'd first confirmed what Amanda had told me. Now it sounded like justice. The valet brought my car around. Tesla Model S, midnight blue, the one Melissa had mocked me for buying. Such a midlife crisis car. Jason. I tipped him $20. My phone buzzed. Mitchell Rosenthal, attorney at law. Marcus just called my office. He's willing to testify. Against Melissa. Everything. I started the engine. The dashboard glowed. GPS automatically loaded home. 3 months of planning. Every conversation recorded. Every document secured. Every move calculated. She'd wanted to see my face when my world fell apart. Instead, she just watched hers collapse in a restaurant full of witnesses. I didn't go home. Couldn't. Not yet. The house, our house, my house now, according to those property documents, felt contaminated. Poisoned by 3 months of living with someone I was actively destroying. I drove to Marcus's apartment instead. Harborview Towers. Expensive. 23rd floor. He'd done well for himself. Software engineer at Google. $350K base salary. Probably another $200K in stock. The affair clearly hadn't hurt his career. I parked in the visitor lot. Sat in my car for 11 minutes. Then I got out. The building had a doorman. Young guy. Couldn't be older than 25. Can I help you? Jason Reeves to see Marcus Chen. Unit 2304. He called up. Nodded. You can go up. The elevator was all glass and chrome. I watched the city fall away beneath me. Watched the lights spread out like a circuit board. Marcus opened the door before I could knock. He looked terrible. Gray sweatpants. Threadbare Stanford t-shirt. Hair unwashed. Eyes red. You recorded her, he said. Yes. You played me. Yes. He stepped aside. Let me in. The apartment was nice. Floor-to-ceiling windows. View of the harbor. Minimalist furniture that probably cost more than most people's cars. Empty beer bottles on the coffee table. 6 of them. How long have you been here? I asked. Since she texted me an hour ago, screaming, saying you knew everything, that you'd recorded her at dinner. And I realized I'm fucked. He sank onto his couch. Leather. Modern. Probably West Elm or room and board. My lawyer, Jeff Morrison, family law specialist, 30 years experience, says if you have recordings of her discussing the affair, discussing plans to defraud you, I'm implicated. Conspiracy to commit fraud. You are. I could lose my job. You could. He looked up at me. Why are you here? Good question. Why was I here? I'd spent 3 months planning Melissa's destruction. Marcus had been collateral damage, secondary target, but standing in his apartment, looking at this broken man who'd betrayed me, slept with my wife, helped create a child I'd raised as my own. I need to know why, I said. Why what? Why you did it. You were my best friend for 8 years, college roommate, best man at my wedding. You held Jake when he was 2 days old and you cried because you said he was perfect. My voice stayed flat, controlled. Why? Marcus stared at his hands. It just happened. No, things don't just happen. People make choices. You made a choice. Silence. The refrigerator hummed. A car alarm went off somewhere below. She came to me, he said finally. 6 months after you got married. Said you were already distant, working too much, that she'd made a mistake marrying you. So you fucked her. Not then. I said no. Told her to work it out. He picked at a loose thread on his sweatpants. She came back 3 months later. New Year's Eve party at Dave's place. Remember? I remembered. I'd left early. Emergency call from a client. Left Melissa there with our friends. We were both drunk. She kissed me. I kissed back. We went to her car. He looked up. I know that's not an excuse. I'm just telling you what happened. And then it became an affair. For 2 years. On and off. Mostly at my place. Sometimes hotels when you were traveling for work. My jaw ached. I'd been clenching it without realizing. When did she get pregnant? August 2017. She told me it might be mine. Said she couldn't be sure. That you two were still having sex even though things were bad. He laughed. Bitter. Hollow. She said she'd figure it out after the baby was born. Do a test. Decide what to do. But she never did. No. She picked you. Said you had better stability. Better prospects. That I was fun, but not father material. His voice turned acid. She kept sleeping with me though. On and off. Whenever you pissed her off or worked late or didn't give her enough attention. I should have felt something. Rage. Betrayal. Pain. I felt nothing. Just cold calculation. Your lawyer told you to testify against her, I said. Yes. Will you? He looked at me. Really looked at me. She used both of us. You know that, right? We were both just tools. Things she manipulated to get what she wanted. Answer the question. Yes. He picked up his phone. Showed me the screen. Email to Mitchell Rosenthal. Time-stamped 47 minutes ago. I already sent everything to your attorney. Every text message, every email, photos, hotel receipts, everything. Why? Because she told me she loved me. For 7 years, she said we'd be together eventually. That she was just waiting for the right time. That you were the mistake. His voice cracked. Then tonight she texted me saying I was just a placeholder. That she was using me to hurt you. And once she got your money, she'd be done with both of us. He threw his phone. It hit the wall. Didn't break. Just clattered to the floor. So yeah, I'll testify. I'll tell them everything. Because she destroyed me too. I stood. Walked to the window. The harbor stretched out below. Boats with tiny lights. The bridge in the distance. Mitchell will be in touch, I said. Jason. I turned. I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. I know you probably want to kill me, but I am sorry. Tears now. Actual tears. Jake deserved better than both of us. Jake deserved better than all 3 of us, I said. But he got me, and I'm not going anywhere. I left. 3 days later, Mitchell Mitchell's office, Monday morning, 8:15 a.m. Marcus's testimony is devastating, Mitchell said. He was 63, gray hair, wireframe glasses, suits that cost more than most people's monthly rent. 31 years practicing family law. His office walls were covered in framed certifications, diplomas, photos with judges and politicians. Combined with the recordings, the documented paternity fraud, the evidence of long-term deception. What about custody? California strongly favors established parental relationships. You've been Jake's legal father since birth. You're on the birth certificate. You've provided primary financial support, attended all medical appointments, participated actively in his life. He slid a document across the desk. This is the petition for full legal and physical custody. I read it. 23 pages, every moment documented, every t-ball game, every school play, every bedtime story, every moment that mattered. What happens to her? Best case? Limited supervised visitation, required therapy, possibly a psychological evaluation to determine if she's fit for any custody. He paused. Worst case for her? Complete termination of parental rights based on demonstrated intent to psychologically harm the child. Can we actually do that? The recording where she explicitly states she planned to tell Jake you're not his father, specifically to hurt both of you? That's textbook parental alienation. That's grounds for termination. Mitchell took off his glasses, cleaned them with a cloth from his desk drawer. Jason, I've been doing this for 3 decades. I've seen a lot of ugly divorces. This is one of the worst I've seen in terms of calculated psychological harm. What about Marcus? Depends if she tries to pursue paternity rights for him. If she does, we counter with abandonment. He knew about Jake's potential paternity for 7 years and never pursued any relationship or support. Courts don't look kindly on that. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. This is Amanda, Melissa's sister. I'm so sorry. For everything. If you need me to testify, I will. I showed Mitchell. Get her in here, he said immediately. Today, if possible. Amanda witnessed the original confession. She can confirm timeline. She can testify to Melissa's state of mind and intent. I texted back, can you come to Mitchell Rosenthal's office on Chapman Avenue this afternoon? Response came immediately. I'll be there at 2. That afternoon, Amanda looked terrible. Worse than Marcus. Hair pulled back in a messy bun, no makeup, yoga pants, and an oversized sweater. She'd been crying. Her eyes were red and swollen. I'm so sorry, she said the moment she sat down. I should have told you sooner. Should have made her come clean. I was scared she'd cut me off. She's my sister. I didn't know what to do. Tell me everything, Mitchell said. He had his legal pad out, recording device on the desk, red light blinking. Amanda talked for 47 minutes. She confirmed the Christmas party confession, confirmed that Melissa had told her about the affair in 2017, that she wasn't sure who the father was, confirmed that Melissa had explicitly chosen to list me as the father because of my career trajectory and stability. She said Marcus was fun but unreliable, Amanda said, that he'd probably end up back at his parents' place in San Jose within a few years, that you were the safer bet. Did she ever express love for Jason? Mitchell asked. At first, maybe, early in the relationship, but by the time she got pregnant, Amanda twisted her hands together. She talked about you like you were an investment, like marrying you was a smart financial decision. My chest felt hollow. Did she ever discuss plans to divorce him? All the time. She said she'd wait until your business was really successful, then file, take half. She called it her retirement plan. Amanda looked at me. I'm so sorry. I should have told you. What about Jake? I asked. Did she ever talk about him? She loves him. I think that's genuine. But she also, Amanda's voice dropped. She also talked about him like he was a bargaining chip, like having a kid would make the divorce easier, help her get more money. Mitchell made notes. Lots of notes. Would you be willing to testify to all of this in court? Yes. Even if it means your sister hates you? Amanda looked at me. Her eyes were red but steady. She already hates me. She called me after that dinner, screaming, saying I must have told you years ago that this was my fault. She wiped her eyes. She's right. It is partly my fault. I should have spoken up, but I can speak up now. Thank you, I said. She left 20 minutes later, gave me a hug first, a real one, held on tight. Jake's lucky to have you, she whispered. You're a good dad. 2 weeks later, the custody hearing, County Superior Court, Judge Patricia Okafor presiding, 26 years on the bench, former family law attorney herself, reputation for being fair but tough. Melissa showed up with her lawyer, Christine Huang, sharp, expensive, one of the best in the city. She wore a gray suit that probably cost $4,000. Hair perfect, makeup perfect. She looked at me like I was a defendant, a criminal. We sat on opposite sides. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Wood paneling, high ceiling, fluorescent lights that hummed. Judge Okafor reviewed the files. Both lawyers had submitted briefs. Mine was 187 pages. Melissa's was 94. This is a complicated case, the judge said. She was in her early 60s, black woman with silver streaks in her hair, reading glasses on a chain. I've reviewed all submitted evidence. Mr. Reeves, your documentation is extensive. Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Huang, your client is claiming what exactly? That Mr. Reeves has no legal standing because he's not the biological father? Christine stood. Yes, Your Honor. We're also claiming emotional instability on Mr. Reeves's part. He secretly monitored our client, recorded private conversations, displayed controlling behavior, I've heard the recordings, Judge Okafor interrupted. Your client explicitly stated her intention to commit paternity fraud, take half of Mr. Reeves's assets, and use the child as a weapon. Those are her words, in her voice, time-stamped and authenticated. Christine's jaw tightened. She was upset. People say things they don't mean. She planned it for months. There are text messages. The judge looked at Melissa. Ms. Reeves, I'd like to hear from you directly. Did you or did you not plan to tell your son that Mr. Reeves is not his biological father? Melissa stood. She looked small, fragile. I was angry. Jason had been distant. I felt trapped. Answer the question. Yes or no? Yes. But I wouldn't have actually. You told Mr. Chen you would do it the day after the dinner. That's documented. You told your sister you'd been planning this for years. That's documented. Judge Okafor removed her glasses. Ms. Reeves, do you understand that telling a 7-year-old child that his father isn't his biological parent, specifically to cause psychological harm, constitutes child abuse? Silence. Your Honor, Christine tried again. My client was in an emotionally abusive relationship. Where's the evidence? I see no police reports, no therapy records, no witnesses. What I do see is evidence that your client conducted a 7-year affair, committed paternity fraud, and planned to psychologically damage her child to hurt her spouse. The judge put her glasses back on. I also see evidence that Mr. Reeves has been an exemplary father. Every school event attended, every medical appointment, every expense paid, 7 years of documented parental involvement. She looked at me. Mr. Reeves, do you love this child? More than anything. Do you consider yourself his father? Yes, Your Honor. Does he call you dad? Yes. Does he know you're not his biological father? No, and I don't plan to tell him, not now. Maybe when he's older. Maybe never. That depends on what's best for him. Judge Okafor made notes. The courtroom was silent except for her pen scratching paper. Here's my ruling. Full legal and physical custody to Jason Reeves. Supervised visitation for Melissa Reeves, 2 hours per week, to be conducted at a neutral location with a court-appointed supervisor. Both parents required to attend family therapy. Child therapy for Jake to be initiated immediately. She looked at Melissa. Ms. Reeves, you will not discuss paternity with your son. You will not disparage Mr. Reeves in front of your son. Any violation results in immediate termination of visitation. Do you understand? Melissa was crying. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reeves, you're obligated to allow the supervised visitation. You will not disparage Ms. Reeves to your son. You will encourage a relationship between them, limited as it may be. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. This court recognizes that biology doesn't determine parenthood. Actions do. Commitment does. Love does. She signed something, handed it to the bailiff. We're adjourned. The gavel came down, sharp, final, like the crack of a gunshot. I walked out into September sunshine. Mitchell caught up with me on the courthouse steps, shook my hand. That's the best possible outcome. Yeah, go get your son. My parents were watching Jake at their place. When I pulled into the driveway 32 minutes later, I could hear him in the backyard, laughing, playing. He ran around the corner when he heard my car door close. Dad! I caught him, lifted him up, held him tight enough that he squirmed. Can't breathe, Dad. I loosened my grip, but I didn't put him down. Grandma made cookies, he said. The chocolate ones. Can I have another? Did you finish your homework? Grandpa checked it. I got them all right. Then yes. He wriggled free. Started to run back to the house. Stopped. Turned around. I love you, Dad. My throat closed. I love you too, buddy. He ran inside. My mom appeared on the porch. She didn't ask, just looked at my face and knew. Full custody? Full custody. She walked down the steps. Hugged me. You did the right thing, she said quietly. She wanted to see your face when your world fell apart. I pulled back. Looked at her. But I was never the one being played.